Uber Lyft fares have been skyrocketing. Drivers, are they seeing any benefits from that? So
Yeah.
this is an article that came out from Vice just a couple of days ago, actually last week on
Yeah.
Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
So this is an article, but yeah, you're seeing fares starting to go up, and you're seeing drivers pay. Where's that? Is it going up? Is it staying the
Yeah.
same? Um,
Yeah. I mean, look, man, we did the video that came out a couple days ago, popular video. Look, I can't emphasize enough that when these companies want to sugarcoat things, they're going to mention everything on active hour. And we explained for 20 minutes on the video what active hour means. Let's not get into that. This is a study that came out by the UCLA Labor Center. I don't think they're left or right leaning too much, but they analyzed like 50 million trips, Chris. And Uber admitted that the fares are up. Okay. And they also said driver earnings are up 30% since 2019. Okay. So what's the difference between 30? Okay. I don't know if it's a true number, because they mentioned even on the last quarter where there's oversaturation and people are crying that they're not making money or doing rideshare, Uber and both Lyft said drivers nationwide, okay, that includes everybody, they're doing $35 to $36 per active hour. Now, active hour means with a butt in the back seat while your wheels are turning with a passenger in the car. Active hour is from the time you accept a trip, which is period 2, you go pick up the passenger on the way to destination, which is period 3. Those two combined is active hour. So if you did one trip, one and only trip in half, and it took you half hour, that means you were active for half the 60 minutes. And let's say it paid you $20. Great. What Uber does and Lyft do and Doordash is they take that $20 and extrapolate over an hour. They go, well, assuming you got another trip like that, you would have made $40. But I go, I didn't though. Why don't you tell me online hours how much money drivers are making, right? So we'll have a little back and forth going on with Uber on this one. But of course, they have to advertise the highest number possible, which they're allowed to do, I guess. Okay. So this is true. We've been talking about this, Chris, for what, 3 months now? 4 months?
Yep.
Right? Rates are going up on the passengers.
Here's my biggest thing. When you say for drivers who have been driving since 2019 or earlier, and can see this because it says between February 2019 and April 2022, median driver pay increased by 31% compared to an increase for 50% for median passenger fare.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Here's the real question. Has the actual percentage gone up, or are they talking about in February 2019, they were using online hour because this was before they invented the active hour. So that's the whole thing too.
Well, no,
are they
honestly,
comparing apples to oranges, or are they actually comparing apples to apples?
I think they're doing a hybrid of that, Chris. I think, first of all, okay, there's a thing called on Wall Street, it's called, a rising tide lifts all boats. Okay. Now, if we know that Uber fares for passengers have gone up 50%, right? So with the algorithm, they can control how much of that 50% they want to share with drivers. I am not questioning this 31% increase, right? The reason for that is okay, here's the deal. If a trip that was $10, now it's $15 for a passenger, correct? And assume Uber is taking half. Like everybody says Uber takes 50%. Let's go with easy numbers, okay? So 3 years ago, that trip was $10. Uber took half, you made $5, right? Okay. Now that $10 trip is $15. Uber takes half, again, let's say, and Uber's take rate has gone up to 7.5, but your rate has gone from $5 to $7.5. So granted, driver pay may have gone up not commensurate, by the way, not keeping pace with what Uber is charging on the other end. And that's because of their wonderful algorithms that they run. They can play with that.
Well,
and
go back again in 2019. Go back again in 2019. That was you were just getting outside of the 75-25 split because in 2018, I think it was, they switched to upfront fares for the passenger. So that's when you had your time and distance put in. But were they charging that same 50% back in 2019
Yeah.
versus today? So here's the thing. Let's go through that again. Let's say they were doing the 75-25 split, let's just say.
Mhm.
So if that same ride was $10 in 2019 and you were doing the 75-25, you get 750, they get 250.
Right.
But then fast forward to now,
Yeah.
and let's say now it's 50%, 50-50. They're charging $15 and you're getting 750, which is the same as before, but now instead of Uber getting 250, they're getting 750. So now they increased by 200%.
Yeah. No, I'm not questioning you at all. I'm just saying, look, it's in their earnings. You can tell. In 2019, their overall take rate between delivery and rideshare was 9%. Last quarter, 27%. Well, that's a jump. That's a triple, right? So, look, these algos are built to do this. We did the Uber math, nickel and dime, 10 cents here, dollar here, 50 cents there. They did 2 billion trips. So these algos are so good now that they can basically squeeze a lot of blood out of the rock, and your driver is not even going to feel it. But this article basically solidifies what we've been saying. Passenger rates are going up, and driver pay is not going up commensurate with passenger hikes. But again, like good old Professor Len Sherman said, it's not rocket science. They have to charge as much as they can on one end, and they have to pay as little as they can on the other end. And the algorithms are perfectly doing that. And I think it's a trend that's continuing. And lastly, on this one, one paragraph that hit me really interesting is lack of transparency about pay was also reflected in the research study published last month that found for hire vehicle drivers often felt like they were gambling due to arbitrary fluctuations in pay. Well, that's the beauty of the upfront fares, right? This algorithm figures out some stuff in 70, different things supposedly according to them in a millisecond and spits you a price. And, you take it, you don't take it, you don't take it. Most of them are not takeable at the moment. And you know what? They, I think, figured it out. They have completely separated what the passenger pays from what the driver receives. There's upfront fares for drivers. There's upfront fares for passengers. Nothing to do with each other. Nothing to do with time and distance that it used to be. Nobody knows what goes into these things. It's the same trip, 10-mile trip, half hour. Once will pay you $8. The next one will pay you 23. I'm going like, really? Mm-hmm. What happened? I don't know.
No rhyme or reason.
Yeah, so you have to just decline until you get that good one. There you go.
Yeah. So, I mean, the thing though is, well, I want to know the math that they broke down. I want to know how they're coming up with those differences in pay. Were they using, total time, so online time from 2019, and then saying, oh, we're using active time. So we are comparing apples to oranges at that point to say it's a 31% increase, while in reality, maybe the drivers aren't getting anything more. Maybe they are. It's, from what I've seen, most people are not getting anything more.
Not 31%. Not 31%. We know that. I mean, we talk to tons of drivers. I see hundreds of screenshots a week. I don't think people are making 31% more than they did on online time. Let's just clear this up, okay? Online time. Like, how many hours you're out there. According to Uber, if you're out there, do one trip in that takes you half hour. They go, well, we don't know what you're doing the rest of the time. Well, what do you think I'm doing? I have my app on. What do you think I'm doing? I'm like watching YouTube. No, if a trip comes in, I'm going to take it if it's profitable to me. I'm like, I'm out here to drive, buddy. I mean, but then they're going, yeah, but a lot of people multi-apping. You could have been doing Lyft. You could have been Doordash at the same time. So we're just going to count the hours you work only with a butt in the backseat. I'm like, that's fuzzy math. I don't like that kind of math.
Yeah. Yeah, so I don't know if they're switching those things there, and then the same thing when it comes to the take rates between the two time frames. Yeah. So those are a couple of the shenanigans that can be pulled to manipulate those numbers to say, oh yeah, it was actually 31%, or there was a big increase or something like that. Even though, we actually started making a little bit more because now we're getting, a 50% increase on fares. So even though it's not going up the same, we're collecting a little bit more money. Again,
It's a,
I want to see the breakdown of the numbers
yeah.
on both sides,
Well,
because I
it's a
guarantee you
long
there's
article.
definitely some number picking.
Yeah, if you guys want to take it on, it's a long article. But all the stats are in there because we can't squeeze all the screenshots up here and we can talk about it for hours and hours. You know, the reason we put these things up is informational, but also it depends, you know, how you look at the business that you're running. You're in a small business. You're running your own small business here. So, you know, are you seeing 31% increase since 2019? Well, we certainly know what you're spending to keep your car up or to maintain your car has easily gone up more than 50 to 70% in oil changes, tires, brakes, and things like that, right? So inflation is inflation. Is it from the supermarket all the way down to a driver's car, including gasoline, obviously. So, you know, look, people call us and you know, and I talk to a lot of journalists. I go, Sergio, do you think this is a decent article? I go, I don't know. I mean, I need to see the data. And this article was done after 50 million trips were analyzed. That's a lot of trips, bro. Okay. So to me, and if you're interested, go read the article and all the data is in there, and then compare it to your own small business. Are you making 31% more? You know, let's go with the online time. Let's not go with the shenanigans active time. And let's see if you're making 31% more.
All right, thanks for watching. That short little clip was from our live stream, Show Me the Money Club with Sergio and myself, Tuesdays, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. Make sure you subscribe, turn on all notifications so you'll be notified when we go live, as well as all of our awesome content. Make sure to check out this video right here, which will take you to the entire live stream, or check out this video right there. All right, drive smart, everyone.